Spoilers for Young and the Restless suggest that Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, discovers startling new details regarding Ashland Locke, Richard Burgi. On the CBS soap opera, it might put an end to the Astoria wedding. It appears that Billy planned a surprise attack at the ceremony, rather than telling Victoria Newman, Amelia Heil, to keep Billy in his place. Victor Newman, Eric Braden, has put in a lot of effort. Spoilers for Young and the Restless, however, suggest that he will have a significant opportunity. Without a doubt, Billy will use what he knows to harm Ashland. He maintains that his only concern is what is best for his kids. However, it's clear that he finds Victoria's moving on to be extremely upsetting. He finds it unbearable that she is content with another guy, especially now that Victor has approved the union. The Mushtach had big expectations for Young and the Restless, and Billy has never lived up to them. Recently, Ashland Locke admitted to Victoria that he has a criminal history. Billy will go crazy over this kind of news. Updates from Young and the Restless suggest that he probably finds out this information via his Chancecom investigators. To gather the dirt on Ashland, they are putting in extra effort. He is looking into Camilla Rhodes' will right now. It is hinted that after Camilla passed away, Ashland Locke might have altered her will. That would account for his acquisition of 2 of her TV stations. When Ashland started creating his legacy on Young and the Restless, he was a young man with no assets. Billy is therefore determined to find out how Ashland Locke obtained the funds necessary to complete the transaction. But it's possible that Ash inherited the stations with the assistance of a dubious attorney. Scoops from Young and the Restless reveal that she informs her buddy that such a crime is conceivable during a conversation with Amanda Sinclair, Michelle Morgan. But instead of telling Victoria what he's found, her ex is probably going to do something else. Victoria appears to be determined to wade Ashland Locke. According to Young and the Restless, Billy will need to come up with an alternative strategy to prevent the wedding because she has supported him despite his background. According to recent Young and the Restless updates, there will be a lot of turmoil surrounding the Astoria wedding. Nothing would be more thrilling than the pair saying their vows. Then, with high-level accusations, have an outside force charge in. Something like this would be exactly what the careless Billy Abbott would do. The following week, Ashland tells Victoria about the crimes he committed when he was younger. Therefore, she won't be surprised by the facts. But in order to confront the New Yorker about his involvement with Young and the Restless, the Abbott here might contact the police. The wedding might be shortened because there are so many moving components. While Vicky and her fiancé might make it down the aisle, Soak Dirt questions whether they will ever say "I do." Although wedding bells are meant to herald fresh starts, optimism, and happily ever afters, romance seldom arrives in Genoa City without disaster following. The most recent spoilers for the Young and the Restless suggest that a big celebration might be on the verge of catastrophe. Fans are already preparing for emotional consequences that could rock several families to their foundations as rumors that Billy Abbott is about to blow up the much-anticipated Astoria wedding get stronger. Billy's willingness to step in when old scars, unresolved affections, and buried secrets collide on the most public stage. Conceivable is the question, not whether he will interfere. The significance of this wedding, one of the most elegant and emotionally charged events Genoa City has witnessed in a long time, is the so-called Astoria wedding. This coupling, which is opulent, symbolic, and brimming with power player energy, is about more than simply love. It's about control, image, and rewriting one's own history. The wedding is a symbol of victory and stability for all those involved. But to Billy Abbott, it stands for something else entirely, a luxury-wrapped falsehood. Billy has never been good at keeping silent, especially when he thinks someone he loves is about to make a mistake that could change their life. Additionally, his gut has been telling him lately that this marriage is unstable. Billy Abbott, the unpredictable factor. Nobody can ignore. Billy's reputation comes before him. Emotional, impetuous, and intensely devoted to those he loves, he has a history of ruining relationships when he feels excluded or deceived. He's not always correct. He is uncomfortably correct at times. Billy rarely notices the difference until it's too late, which is the issue. Billy has been shown in recent episodes becoming more and more agitated as the wedding preparations proceed. He has lost his tolerance, sharpened his sarcasm, and focused solely on preventing this wedding at any means. Fans are familiar with this motive. Billy doesn't back down when he feels rejected or neglected. Instead, he blows up. Billy's true reason for wanting the wedding to end. Billy says he is acting out of concern on the surface. He maintains that the connection is hurried, theatrical, and driven by non-love-related motivations. Longtime observers, however, believe he is motivated by something more profound. Billy tends to project his own suffering onto others, harbors unresolved emotional attachments, and harbors regrets. He might be feeling his worst when he sees someone he had a difficult past with move on, especially in such a big public way. Is Billy attempting to prevent heartache for someone, or is he attempting to calm his own wounded ego? The reality can be a perilous combination of the two. Beneath the surface secrets, there is always at least one heartbreaking secret at a soap opera wedding, and this one seems to be no different. According to rumors, Billy might be hiding something that, if disclosed at the wrong time, could totally ruin the wedding. Billy is certain that the truth will ultimately surface, whether it's through financial manipulation, a covert betrayal, or evidence that one partner isn't telling the whole truth. What's his greatest fear? That when vows are exchanged, the consequences will be more severe if he remains silent. Preemptive destruction is preferable to delayed devastation, in typical Billy form. An impending public meltdown. Fans are particularly uneasy about Billy's plans' timing. It is implied by spoilers that he has no desire for a private altercation. Rather, Billy seems to be preparing for a highly public reckoning that would leave visitors in disbelief and relationships irreparably damaged. Not only is it dramatic, but it's also nuclear to interrupt a wedding. Billy is aware of it as well. The stakes are only raised by the Astoria setting. Because of the exquisite decor, well-known attendees, and well-chosen optics, any disturbance will be felt much beyond the ballroom. There will be no rewriting of the story if Billy blows it during the ceremony. If Billy follows through on this, who is harmed? Even Billy appears hesitant to face that aspect head-on. One person may avoid future suffering if the wedding is called off, while others may suffer greatly. Longtime allies, business colleagues, family members, and kids all have an emotional stake in this union. Billy's activities won't happen in a vacuum. They will cause pandemonium and pull everyone else along with them. What if Billy is mistaken? If his suspicions are more motivated by jealousy than by reality? He might lose whatever faith he still has in Genoa City as a result of that error. Is there an attempt to stop him? A few characters seem to sense disaster is coming as Billy's behavior becomes increasingly unpredictable. Others advise him to relax and acknowledge that not all endings require revision. Others fear that Billy is going into a downward spiral, and that his preoccupation with the wedding is a cover for more serious emotional problems. However, past events indicate that Billy is rarely persuaded to modify his views once he has made up his mind. His decisions get increasingly careless as the wedding draws nearer. He believes that time is running out and that the only thing left to do is severe measures. The moral conundrum at the center of everything. Fundamentally, this plot revolves around a traditional Young and the Restless motive. If you think a moment of joy is based on a falsehood, is it ever acceptable to ruin it? Billy isn't presented as a bad guy with a mustache. Despite his many flaws, he is a man who believes he is acting morally. What makes this storyline so interesting and so contentious among fans is that ambiguity. Some viewers are already supporting him, claiming that when the truth is being disregarded, soap operas should be interrupted. Others think Billy has no right to act as a savior, particularly given his own dubious intentions. What takes place if the wedding does happen? Billy may have already caused harm even if he is unable to stop the event. His meddling might sow doubtful seeds that sprout long after the vows are exchanged. In Genoa City, a marriage that starts out suspiciously rarely has a happy honeymoon period. Billy's warnings could eventually reappear in far more damaging ways if they are disregarded now, potentially shattering the relationship from the inside out. In that regard, even if Billy's plan to spoil the wedding fails ceremonially, it may succeed emotionally. Supporters await a watershed moment. There is little doubt that this plot represents a significant turning point in Billy Abbott's life. His actions will change how he and others perceive him, regardless of whether he is shown to be correct or terribly incorrect. Will he turn out to be the unpopular truth teller? Or will this be just another instance of Billy allowing his emotions to destroy things he will never be able to repair? The answers are on the way, and they are arriving quickly. Conclusion: catastrophe or required intervention? The next Astoria wedding is a pressure cooker that is about to blow up, not merely a party. Fans can anticipate heartache, shock, and upheaval even after the final guest departs, as Billy Abbott hovers over the event like a thundercloud. Weddings in Genoa City reveal truths in addition to bringing couples together. Furthermore, if Billy has his way, this day can become one that people never forget, for all the wrong reasons.